Hari Om. So, I hope you all have been contemplating on CVP, and I don't know how you felt one day thinking and living about the self and rejecting all that is non self. Non self for all nonsense, I tell you. Huh? Because they're all distractions. Hmm? Don't speak nonsense, we say, isn't it? Means don't speak that which has no sense and which has no motive and which is not our aim. Simple. Similarly, here, anything other than the self is nonsense. So he is hammering, and hammering on Mahabaho. Be careful, be vigilant. About what? About the senses. Why? Because the gateway for evil are the senses. You know, Gateway of India or India Gate, whatever it is, the two great monuments in India which are in Delhi and Bombay. But for us, we have 14 Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, and 4 Sukshmas, Manabuddhi Chitta Ahankaras. Prana and Upapranas I don't consider under this. By default, they are doing their duties 99% perfect until unless we forcibly distract and deviate it. The only thing is, even there, if you have a checkpoint at the level of prana, the level of breath, every breath going in and going out, if we are vigilant itself, our mission is achieved. Because the mind has to be engaged. Idle man's brain is a devil's workshop. If the mind is not engaged, the mind keeps wandering hither and thither, keeps thinking this and that, rolling in the past and wandering in the future. And then it increases the samskars. The more and more I think of it, the thought becomes denser and denser there. The likes becomes more and more there. Isn't it? So under those conditions and situations, then what happens? When the mind becomes too heavy, then the mind cannot stay there. Then the thoughts cannot stay there in the mind. That thought starts to flow out from the mind through the body towards the world of objects outside. Think. If the thoughts are light, they float. If the thoughts become heavy, they sink. If they sink, where will they come? They come to the body level, that is Indriyas level. And what happens at the Indriyas level? At the Indriyas level, they start to move towards the world outside, towards the world of objects. And where is the self? The self is within, inside us, in us. So as long as the sense is flowing out, we can never reach the self because we are moving in opposite direction. If we have to reach our true self, the senses has to flow inward. How do they flow inward? Just close all the senses. Then it will have no place to flow. But the nature of the senses are to flow. As the external gates are closed, they dive deep within. When they dive deep within, they see and they realize the self. If we are in a beach and if we are just making our feet wet, yes, only feet gets wet. But if you go to devotion and dive deep inside devotion, you get most precious stones or jewels or whatever it is, isn't it? If you want the costliest, the strongest carbon, you have to go down to the diamond mines or to the gold mines if you want gold. Superficially, yes, something as per the movie KGF they have shown. The sand in Kolar itself is gold, isn't it? They bring carts and carts of sand to the Europeans. And you know how they looted us. Similarly, here, we are being captive of the senses outside and we are being looted from our gold which is shining deep within. Don't give it to outsiders. Don't give it to this world of senses outside. Keep it to yourself and become rich. The gold is within you. Think, my dear friends. Pause for a moment and think. If not now, when? If not here, where? If not with us, with whom? Satsangam is very, very essential, who keeps on revising and reminding things for us to move in the right direction. Why do you have signboards, navigation boards all through? You move any of the roads, there are hoardings on road saying 50 kilometers straight, 50 kilometers left, 50 kilometers right, these are the directions. So that we don't miss our track. Do we have signboards in us, within us? Hey, go inside. Hey, go inside. Hey, go inside. Take right turn. Do we have any signboards inside? Then how can we reach our destination? Of course, you can come out with an equation saying that the world is round. Finally, you come back to the same point. Yes, that is there. But do we have so much of time? In this pandemic, we don't know what, when, who is going to get struck. At least are you following the principles, the three precepts? Are you wearing masks regularly, double masks of late? They are insisting on. Are you maintaining 2 meter distance? Sanitizing the hands frequently. Whenever you touch anything, are you sanitizing? Caution. Similarly here, the mind. Whenever the mind touches anything, think, hey, is it Brahman or not? If it is not, leave it. Sanitize the mind. Every moment keep sanitizing the mind. Then mind will not get inflicted with this world of samsara. Think. It can be either for the self or it can be for the corona. Sanitization is very, very important. Cleaning. Wearing a mask is very important. That is, the virus doesn't enter into the body, or wearing a mask. Here, the vigilance of the Panchendriyas, CVP, where they do not attract. Maintaining social distance. That which is not mine, keep them away. Keep everything 2 meters apart so it will not get infected with corona. Correct? Similarly, here too, anything other than self, maintain distance. Don't take it to yourself. Not worth it. Not worth it. So, these three precepts, either to safeguard ourselves from corona or to become slaves of the world outside, these three precautions have to be maintained. Remember, a person who is a slave to the senses is not regarded anywhere, but a person who has conquered the senses is respected everywhere. Just think on these things. How One can rule the world if you are not a slave to the senses. The world rules you if you are a slave to senses. That's all. If you have any one weakness, people will exploit you. If you have no weakness, nobody can exploit you. Think, think, think. With this, we conclude this session here. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru.